You've always sensed that you were set apart, that something about you carried a weight beyond the ordinary, whether it's the way people respond to your presence or how you perceive the world with a depth that others seem to overlook. There's an undeniable distinction about you. Some are drawn to you instinctively, as if they've encountered a beacon of warmth in a world often shrouded in shadow. Others, however, seem unsettled, as though something about you stirs within them an awareness they would rather avoid. This is no coincidence. It is not mere chance. What you carry within you is not just a trait, it is a calling, a purpose woven into the very fabric of your being. The presence you bring shifts the atmosphere, whether you're conscious of it or not, and though this gift is sacred, it is not always easy to bear. There are days when the weight of it all presses heavily upon you, when trials seem relentless, and you find yourself wondering why the path is so steep for one whose heart desires only to bring good into the world. But what if these struggles are not obstacles meant to break you? What if they are the refining fire through which you are being shaped into something unshakable? You were never meant to blend in. Your spirit is rare, imbued with a power that does not merely exist, but transforms. The moment you step into a space, things shift. Some will find comfort in your presence as if they found a safe harbor. Others will resist, unsettled by the truth your presence exposes. But it is not your duty to make them comfortable. You are not here to ease the resistance of those who are unwilling to see. Your purpose is to awaken. This is why your journey has been anything but simple. The most finely crafted instruments are honed through pressure and fire. Every hardship, every heartbreak, every moment of doubt, none of it was random. Every struggle has been preparing you, molding you, refining you into the person you are meant to be. You have seen depths of pain that most will never comprehend. But this, too, is a part of your calling. You are not merely a bystander in the world's suffering. You are a vessel through which healing flows. What you have endured has given you eyes to see, hands to uplift, words to breathe life where there was only despair. This weight you feel, it is not only yours. You have been entrusted with a sensitivity to the unseen, a keen awareness of the burdens others carry. That is why you often feel the chaos swirling around you. You are not just walking through storms, you are the force that stirs the winds, the presence that unsettles stagnant waters. Change is never comfortable, and yet you were born to bring it. Like the tide reshaping the shore, like the fire purging the dross, you are an instrument of transformation. And yes, there will be days of exhaustion, days when you long for rest, when you wonder if it would be easier to shrink back, to quiet the fire inside you. Even those chosen to bear light must pause to replenish their strength, but never mistake your moments of weariness for weakness. Even in your stillness, your presence carries power. Even in silence, your existence speaks. There will be those who misunderstand you, who resist what you bring. They are not rejecting you. They are reacting to what your presence stirs within them. Do not take this as a burden. It is proof that your purpose is being fulfilled. Stand firm in who you are, even when the path feels lonely. The world may not always recognize what you carry, but that does not make it any less necessary. You were never meant to seek approval, only to walk in the truth you have been given. You are not here merely to exist. You are here to lead, to shift, to illuminate. The journey you are on is not accidental. It is divinely orchestrated. Every challenge, every tear, every triumph is weaving you into the person you were always meant to become. And you are not alone. Heaven sees you. The hand that formed you, that set you apart for this path, has never left your side. Press forward. Keep shining. The world needs the light you bring, even when it does not yet understand how to receive it. Your existence carries a weight beyond what the eye can perceive, and your purpose is woven into the fabric of the divine. You are not simply passing through this world, you are a vessel, a conduit through which heaven's light flows. The path you have walked has been anything but easy, yet here you stand, refined by fire, strengthened by trials, a living witness to the endurance of the soul. You may have sensed it from an early age, that you were different, that your presence shifted the atmosphere of any room you entered. It's not a matter of pride or self-importance. Rather, it is the undeniable truth that the radiance within you speaks before you even utter a word. The world reacts to you, sometimes with warmth and reverence, other times with discomfort or resistance. This is not about you being accepted or rejected. It is about the way your spirit interacts with those who are still wrestling with their own darkness. Many will be drawn to you without fully understanding why. They will seek comfort in your presence, gravitating toward the peace that emanates from you, hoping to find healing, clarity, or just a moment of reprieve from the burdens they carry. You may notice how people open their hearts to you, how their walls crumble in your presence. It is because your spirit carries truth, and truth liberates. Yet, there will also be those who react differently, who withdraw, who resist, who look at you with suspicion or even hostility. Do not take this as rejection. More often than not, it is their own unhealed wounds rising to the surface, stirred by the purity of your presence. When light shines into a dark place, it reveals everything hidden within it. Some embrace that revelation, while others recoil from it. Perhaps you have wondered why conflict seems to find you, why certain spaces grow tense when you enter, or why truths seem to surface in your presence without you saying a word. This is no accident. You are not simply an observer in this world. You are a catalyst. The spirit within you disrupts stagnation. You bring movement where there was inertia, clarity where there was confusion, awakening where there was slumber. This is both a gift and a weight to bear. It is natural to feel weary at times. To carry light in a world that often prefers the shadows is not an easy task. There may have been moments when you questioned your own worth, when the trials you faced seemed too heavy, when isolation felt like your only companion. But know this, your struggles were not in vain. You have been refined, shaped, and strengthened through them. Every tear, every hardship, every betrayal, none of it was wasted. The fire did not consume you. It purified you. Many live their lives unaware of the greater calling on their soul, too entangled in the fleeting distractions of this world to hear the whispers of eternity. But you, your spirit has always known. There has always been a pull, a sense that you were made for something beyond the ordinary. That pull is not an illusion. It is the divine stirring within you, calling you toward a purpose only you can fulfill. Understand this. You were chosen not for ease, but for impact. Your trials have been the training ground for your assignment. You have been forged in hardship so that you may stand as a beacon for those still wandering in the dark. But even as you shine for others, you must guard the flame within yourself. Not everyone will recognize your value. Not everyone will understand the weight you carry. And that is okay. Your worth does not hinge on the approval of others. It is sealed by the one who formed you. People may not always be able to articulate why they feel an inexplicable mix of admiration and unease in your presence. But the truth is simple. You reflect a reality they may not yet be ready to face. And that is not your burden to carry. It is merely evidence of the power within you. Light reveals. It cannot help but do so. And whether others embrace or resist it, your role remains the same. To walk in that light, to carry it faithfully, to let it shine regardless of who acknowledges it. So press on, even in exhaustion, even in moments of doubt, even when the weight feels unbearable. Your presence in this world is no accident. Your struggles are not random. You are here for a reason, and your journey, though difficult, is sacred. The road may be long, but the light within you is stronger than the darkness you face. Keep walking, chosen one. The world may not always understand you, but heaven sees you, and that is enough. While it may seem that others move through life with ease, your path feels steep, isolating, and relentless. But let me remind you of something deeply significant. Your journey was not given to you by accident. You were not randomly assigned these challenges. You were chosen. Every trial, every difficulty, every moment of exhaustion is not a punishment, but a refining process. Your hardships are not evidence of your weakness, they are proof of your strength. The world does not test those meant for mediocrity, it tests those destined for something greater. The weight you carry is not meaningless, it is shaping you into something far beyond what you can currently comprehend. Think about all that you have already endured, every setback that tried to crush you, every storm that threatened to consume you. You are still here. That is not luck. That is resilience. That is the mark of someone being prepared for something significant. Hardship is not the end of your story. It is the fire in which you are being refined. Gold is purified in flames. Diamonds are formed under extreme pressure, and your soul is being strengthened through these very trials. What feels like an unending storm is in fact a divine process, one that is awakening something powerful within you. Without these struggles, you would never discover the depths of your endurance, the wisdom within you, or the capacity of your spirit to rise above. Perhaps you have asked, why me? But consider this. What if the weight you bear is not a curse, but a calling? What if your trials are not obstacles, but stepping stones toward a purpose greater than you ever imagined? The pain, the disappointments, the betrayals, they are not random. They are part of the transformation required to mold you into someone who can carry wisdom, strength, and compassion into the world. Your struggles are not just about you, they are equipping you to lead, to uplift, and to guide others. Those who endure suffering with faith and perseverance become a source of light in a dark world. And while the road you walk may feel lonely, you are never truly alone. You are seen, you are known. And every step you take, no matter how difficult, is accounted for. When it feels like no one sees the sacrifices you've made, when the weight of it all seems unbearable, remember, your path is not overlooked. The divine sees, and your perseverance is not in vain. Every tear, every silent prayer, every battle fought in the quiet spaces of your heart is part of a larger story unfolding. You may feel like giving up. There may be moments when the burden feels too much to bear, but look at how far you've come. You are still standing. And that fire inside you, the one that refuses to let go, is proof that you are meant for more. You are not weak, you are not forgotten, you are chosen. The trials you face are not just obstacles, they are doors leading to something extraordinary. The scars you carry are not marks of defeat, but proof that you have endured, that you have overcome, that you have wisdom to share. When life feels overwhelming, hold on to this truth. You are being prepared. There is a reason your journey is not easy. There is a reason your spirit is tested. Great things are not placed in fragile hands. Those who are meant to carry purpose must first be strengthened. You are not being broken. You are being built. Do not doubt your worth. Do not question your purpose. You're exactly where you are meant to be, walking a road that leads to something beyond your imagination. Stay the course. Trust that your struggles are refining you, shaping you into a force that will shine for all to see. You are more powerful than you know. Keep going. You are chosen, and your time is coming. There is a profound energy within you, a resonance that reaches those who are weary and burdened. It's not about the words you speak or the deeds you perform. It's something deeper, something woven into the very fabric of who you are. Your presence alone stirs something in the hearts of others, awakening them to truths they may have long buried. Without effort, you inspire healing, courage, and hope, even in those who have forgotten what hope feels like. This is a gift, yet at times it may feel like a heavy weight upon your soul. There are days when it seems as if you are carrying the pain of the world, as though every sorrow finds its way to you. But hear this truth: you were never meant to heal everyone. That burden is not yours to bear. You are not called to mend every broken heart, to shoulder the wounds of every soul you encounter. Your light alone is enough to spark transformation, simply by being who you were created to be, authentic, imperfect, and real. You bring healing into the lives of others. People sense it in your presence. They don't always understand it, but something within them shifts. They feel seen, less alone. And while this is a sacred calling, it is not one without responsibility, not just to those around you, but to yourself. Too often, you give until you are emptied, pouring out love and strength while neglecting your own well-being. You absorb the pain of others, taking it into yourself, hoping to ease their burdens. But if you continue this way, if you never replenish what is lost, your own light will begin to dim. Chosen one, understand this. Self-care is not selfish. Rest is not a sign of weakness. Even Christ withdrew to quiet places to pray, to be renewed in spirit before continuing his mission. If he, in all his divine wisdom, saw the necessity of retreating to restore his strength, how much more should you? Protecting your energy is not a matter of shutting others out. It is an act of preserving the light within you. Boundaries are not a lack of compassion. They are wisdom. They ensure that your strength is used purposefully rather than scattered until there is nothing left. There is a reason you feel different, why people are drawn to you, why your life has been marked by trials and hardships. These struggles were not meant to destroy you, but to refine you. Like gold tested in fire, you have been shaped, your soul made stronger, your wisdom deepened. Every wound, every storm you have endured has prepared you for this path. You are living proof that healing is real. You carry within you the evidence that restoration is possible, and because of this, you give others the courage to believe in their own redemption. Yet even so, remember, you were never meant to walk this journey alone. Lean into the presence of the one who called you. Trust that he is leading you, sustaining you, renewing your spirit when you grow weary. You are never truly alone in this mission. God is with you, guiding your steps, surrounding you with unseen support, sending the right people and opportunities in due time. And know this, you are already enough. You do not have to fix everyone. You do not have to carry what is not yours to carry. The love and light you radiate is already shifting atmospheres, already planting seeds of healing in ways you may never see. Even when you feel inadequate, even when doubt creeps in, understand that your very presence is an instrument of change. The world needs you, but not as a sacrifice, not as one who burns out for the sake of others. It needs you whole. It needs you at peace. When you honor your own soul, when you allow yourself to rest, you do not diminish your purpose. You amplify it. You were not chosen to be consumed by the needs of others. You were chosen to shine, and in shining you ignite the light in others. You are loved. You are valued. You are not alone. Even the loneliness you have felt, the isolation that has at times seemed unbearable, it is not a punishment. It is preparation. Have you noticed how your journey often feels set apart, as if no one truly understands the depths of what you experience? The silence can be deafening, and the weight of your calling can feel overwhelming. But know this, solitude is not abandonment. It is sacred space. Look at those throughout history who were chosen for great purposes. Did they walk ordinary paths? Or were they set apart, refined in the quiet, shaped in the unseen places before stepping into what they were meant to do? God has not forgotten you. He is preparing you. The time in solitude, the moments of wrestling, the seasons of waiting, they are not wasted. They're shaping you into the person you were always meant to become. And when the time is right, what has been cultivated in the quiet will shine forth like a light in the darkness. Stay the course. Trust the process. You were never meant to be common. You were always meant to be extraordinary. In the stillness, where the noise of the world fades, a deeper voice speaks, one that does not compete with the chaos, but rather exists beyond it. This voice carries wisdom, direction, and truth that cannot be grasped amid distractions. Your hardships are not meaningless detours. They are deliberate steps in a divine design, meant to elevate you to a place you cannot yet see. Solitude is not a punishment, but a calling, a necessary space where you are stripped of illusions and confronted with your true essence. This process is neither comfortable nor easy. It demands that you search your soul, question what you once accepted, and endure the weight of transformation. But it is necessary. You are not ordinary. You have been set apart for something greater. And those chosen for higher things must endure greater refinement. At times it may seem unfair. You watch others move through life effortlessly, unconcerned with the burdens that press on your heart. But your journey is not theirs. You were never meant for the distractions that consume the many, because your path is unlike theirs. You are being prepared for a purpose beyond the ordinary, a purpose that requires depth, strength, and clarity. If your trials feel heavier, it is because the calling upon you is higher. The weight of your suffering is not to break you, but to forge you into someone who can carry the responsibility of wisdom. The divine is preparing you in ways you cannot yet comprehend, shaping you for a destiny that demands more than most are willing to endure. Loneliness may feel overwhelming, but it is not a void. It is the sacred space where true transformation unfolds. Consider the caterpillar, seemingly confined and still within its cocoon. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. But within that hidden space, everything is changing. It is dissolving, reshaping, becoming something new. And when the time is right, it emerges, no longer bound to the earth, but free to rise. Your isolation is your cocoon. It is not a prison, but a place of becoming. Even if you cannot yet see what is forming, trust that something magnificent is taking shape. This is the space where your discernment sharpens, where your spirit is refined, where you learn to recognize truth and stand in it with unwavering faith. One day you will look back and understand why this season was necessary, and when the time is right, you will no longer walk alone. You will find those who see as you see, those whose spirits resonate with yours. They too are being prepared, walking their own path of transformation. When your journeys align, the connections will be deep, unshakable, and ordained. Until then, you are held, guided, and watched over by divine hands. You are never truly alone. Even in the silence, you are surrounded by a presence that cannot be measured by sight. The signs are there, subtle yet unmistakable. A word spoken at just the right moment, a song that echoes the cry of your heart, an overwhelming sense of peace that comes when you least expect it, but most need it. These are reminders that you are seen, that your struggles are not in vain. Nothing you have endured is wasted. Every hardship has a purpose, every tear is accounted for. The divine does not invest in those without promise. You are being shaped, not discarded, refined, not abandoned, chosen, not overlooked. There will come a moment when all of this makes sense, when the struggle gives way to revelation, when the path before you is illuminated with clarity. Until then, hold fast to your faith. Do not despair in the waiting. Trust the process, embrace the growth, and walk forward step by step, knowing that the best is yet to come. You have not been forgotten. You have been chosen, and the time of your revealing will come. There are forces in this world that seek to disrupt the divine essence within you, yet they do so unknowingly. Your spirit carries a sacred resonance, a reflection of divine order, and when others act against you, they disturb a harmony that must inevitably be restored. You don't need to take matters into your own hands or allow resentment to cloud your heart. The divine order sees all things and ensures that every imbalance is corrected in due time. Justice does not depend on your intervention. It unfolds through a wisdom far greater than human understanding. Your soul was never meant to be burdened by bitterness. Holding on to anger dims the light that was placed within you to shine. You were created for something far more profound than dwelling on past wounds. Every grievance, every betrayal, none of it defines you. What matters is how you choose to respond, and your response is what sets you apart. When you refuse to be consumed by negativity, when you release the weight of retribution, you align yourself with the higher path. This doesn't mean ignoring wrongdoing or pretending that pain does not exist. It means understanding that every action, good or evil, carries its own consequence, and that consequence is not yours to enforce. Think back to the times you were hurt, when injustice seemed to go unanswered. Maybe you felt powerless, like your silence meant defeat. But in time you saw how the weight of those actions returned to those who inflicted them. You did not orchestrate it, yet it happened. This is not coincidence. It is divine balance at work. You are not merely an observer in this process. Your very presence, your energy, is a mirror. Those who act with impure motives will see their own reflection in the way life unfolds around them. When people challenge you, test you, or attempt to diminish you, it is often because your very existence unsettles something within them. Your spirit, aligned with truth, forces others to confront what they would rather ignore. They may not even understand why they feel compelled to resist you, why they push against your light, but what they fail to see is that their struggle is not against you, it is against the truth they are unwilling to face. And in resisting you, they are only exposing themselves. You do not need to fight them. Your strength is not found in retaliation, but in remaining steadfast in who you are. This is not always easy, especially when you have endured repeated injustices. Yet, the more you elevate your spirit, the less these trials will weigh you down. The divine is always at work on your behalf. even when it seems like the opposite is true. What appears as hardship is often the very thing shaping you, refining you, strengthening you into the person you are meant to be. Your resilience is not accidental. It is evidence of the purpose you carry, the mission you were created for. You were not placed here to live in mediocrity or to be diminished by the actions of others. You were placed here to shine, to stand firm in truth, and to be a living testament to the power of divine justice. Your struggles are not in vain. Every moment of pain, every hardship, has been a stepping stone toward the wisdom and strength you now carry. And when life feels heavy, when you wonder why you have faced so much opposition, remember how far you have come. Recall the battles that once seemed insurmountable, yet were resolved without you having to force an outcome. This is not luck. It is the divine honoring the light within you. And just as it has happened before, so it will happen again. Those who act unjustly will meet the weight of their own choices, not because you seek vengeance, but because divine law ensures that nothing goes unanswered. Your role is not to chase justice, but to embody it, to remain aligned with your purpose, unshaken by the trials of the world, to trust that every difficulty is shaping you into the person you were destined to be, and to know that the divine sees you, values you, and is always working in your favor. Stay the course. Keep your heart open, your spirit free. Do not allow the actions of others to deter you from the greatness you were created for. True justice is not something you pursue. It is something that radiates from within you. And when you walk in that truth, you become a force of divine balance in a world that so desperately needs it. Beloved, abundance is not something you must chase. It is your inheritance, woven into the very fabric of your destiny. The Most High has seen your struggles, your heartbreaks, and the moments when you stood at the edge of despair yet refused to surrender. Nothing you have endured has been in vain. Every tear that has fallen, every loss that seemed unbearable, and every sleepless night spent wondering when breakthrough would come, these have not been wasted. They have been the refining fire, purifying and preparing you for the extraordinary purpose set before you. You have carried burdens that many would crumble under, yet through it all, your spirit remained unbroken. Heaven has taken notice. True abundance is not merely the accumulation of wealth, but the freedom to walk in your calling without chains of lack or fear restraining you. The struggles you have faced were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to carve out space within you for something far greater. They have expanded your capacity to receive, to steward, to bless. The time of restoration is approaching swiftly. Even now, doors are aligning, opportunities are unfolding, and provision is being set in place. Do not mistake the waiting for abandonment. God's timing is perfect, and His plans are far greater than anything you could orchestrate on your own. Every sacrifice, every act of faith, every choice to hold on to hope when everything around you seemed to crumble has been recorded. The seeds you have sown in suffering will not return empty. They will bring forth a harvest beyond measure. You were never meant to live in scarcity. The Father does not withhold good gifts from His children. What He has prepared for you is not for selfish gain, but for a greater purpose. Your freedom is not just for you. It is meant to uplift, to restore, to bring light into places of darkness. When you walk in abundance, you become a vessel through which blessings flow, touching lives beyond what you can see. This is why financial freedom is part of your calling. It is not about greed or worldly status, but about being released from the weight of survival so that you may fully step into your divine purpose, to give, to build, to create, to bless, without restriction. Every choice you have made to walk in integrity, every moment you have chosen faith over fear, every unseen act of kindness, none of it has gone unnoticed. The principle of divine reciprocity ensures that what you have poured out will return, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You are not passively waiting for blessings. You are actively co-laboring in their fulfillment. What felt like delay was never denial. It was divine preparation. You are being positioned for what you have long prayed for, but in a way that will sustain you, not crush you. The trials were necessary to forge the wisdom, humility, and resilience required to carry the weight of the blessings that are on their way. Stay steadfast. Do not allow temporary obstacles to distract you from what is unfolding behind the scenes. God is moving even when you cannot see it. Be vigilant, be expectant, be ready. There is no need to force what has already been ordained. Your task is to remain aligned, to trust and to prepare. Now is the time to release doubt, to cast off any lingering sense of unworthiness. You are enough. The struggles you have endured have not diminished your value. They have refined it, amplifying the treasure within you. Begin to see yourself as heaven sees you, chosen, empowered, and already walking in the fullness of what has been promised. The more you embrace this truth, the more you will magnetize the abundance that has been set aside for you. This is not about chasing wealth. It is about walking in divine provision so that you may fulfill your purpose without hindrance. When you are free, you uplift others. When you are whole, you heal. When you are abundant, you become a channel through which heaven touches the earth. You are not merely gathering riches, you are building a legacy that will ripple through generations. You are not just receiving, you are being entrusted. And you are not just waiting, you are stepping into the divine overflow that has been prepared for you from the very beginning.